Well, and think about this too. Our entire culture, case in part to these devices, right, that we
Yeah,
have, we're
totally.
so forward flexed, driving computer, cell phone, even in conversations, most people aren't in the current moment. They're leaning forward to anticipate the next moment. So they're not even
Yep.
in the current moment. They're just leaning forward. This contributes to our flexed hips, our lengthened glutes, our kyphosis, and then we start living life where gravity is defeating us. So I believe that we get to kind of lean back, take our time, enjoy where we actually are instead of always anticipating being safe in the next moment.
I 100% agree. So when you're breathing, what does that look like for you? Like, is there a certain, like, there's different things out there. Everyone knows Wim Hof, which is the different kind of
Yeah.
breathing. Some people are focusing on inspiration. Sometimes there's a hold to increase CO2, which is shown to improve vasodilation of the brain.
Yeah.
Some have a longer exhale. What does your, I mean, there's probably different ones that you like, but like right now, if you're focusing on the listeners here, and it's the easiest thing they could grab, which one would you recommend? And what does that look like?
So in our breathe program that we have, we start with just training someone to do what's called cyclical breath. And cyclical breath is where we have a charged inhale and a relaxed soft exhale. Yes, there's similarities with Wim Hof. There's also similarities with Soma breath or with breath as prayer or with even holotropic breathing. The majority of things when it revolves around breath is that we're not reinventing the wheel. There's only three
Right.
phases of breathing, right? The
Right.
inhale, the hold, the exhale. We're not going to like develop some new breathing pattern because that's our
Right.
whole pattern. So what I do is when I focus on people that are just starting their journey and they've heard about breath work or they're curious about breath work or they're like, how do I use this for my well-being? I start them with the cyclical. And that is a pull from a rich inhale, a relaxed exhale, and no pause. 6 of those in a row. If you look at the science, there's multiple studies, 2 of them recently on PubMed. That is what shifts our nervous system into less fight or flight and more rest and digest. So literally, I mean, that's the best place to start. Of course, from there, in the program, we also focus on different patterns of breathing, whether it's being on stage or just being present with your family member. But honestly, man, 6 breaths is all we need.
And so 6 breaths meaning like a 6 seconds in, like or 6 breaths in a row, like
6 total. So literally just 6 times. So you notice how when I pull in, I'm actually
yeah,
taking control of my respiration. And this is
yeah.
one thing for an analogy I want to say is when we breathe in, we're taking control. When we breathe out, we're letting go of trying to be in control. That's a big differentiation that I want to say about breathing is we never want to, we're not trying to be in control both ways. Like we can control the breath in, but if we try to control the breath out too much, we're actually defeating the purpose of being in that cyclical pattern.
Okay, and so when you breathe in or breathe out, you're not focusing on any amount of time. It could be maybe 2 or 3 seconds in,
It's just a
2
rich
or 3
pull
seconds out.
in. Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, whatever, and this goes to respiration muscles, whatever someone's intercostals or their diaphragm or their posture can handle. Because for some people, doing this might be really challenging. So maybe they need to pull in a little softer, just depending on how much their inhalation muscles have been trained. So that's why I think, honestly, the best way to teach breathing or to do breathing is not to get caught up in the weeds of details of seconds of hold and everything else. It's just clear, concise direction, like you'd tell a 10-year-old, like, hey, take a
Cool.
deep breath in with your mouth closed.
Got it. Yeah, and then try to make sure that the belly is really being activated.
Yeah, and exactly like you do with your patients,
Yeah,
cue them to
2 hands.
somatically feel and visualize what's going
Exactly.
on. Otherwise, we are creatures of habit, right? We go to these patterns that don't always serve us, but our body's super efficient. I mean, you know this because you've
Yeah,
talked about it on your show. The body
yeah,
is always trying to achieve homeostasis, no matter
yep,
what.
it's always trying to, yeah,
It's going to do that with the path of least resistance and the least amount of energy expenditure. So it's up to
yeah.
us to direct that body so it's in alignment with what we actually want.
Very cool.